ドジャースは日本時間、ブルワーズ戦で2桁得点を奪う大勝を収め、レギュラーシーズンで続いていたブルワーズ戦の連敗を9で止めました。1番、DH で先発出場した大谷翔平は、ライト前的自打を放つなど、5打数2安打1打点、1四球を記録。4試合連続打点に加え、今季最長となる9試合連続安打もマークしました。試合前には、LA 地元放送局の名物リポーター、ジェリー・ヘアストン・ジュニアがポッドキャスト番組に出演し、大谷翔平の活躍について言及しました。番組の中でヘアストン氏は、大谷について、ドジャース最高の投手であるだけでなく、ナ・リーグ最高の投手と高く評価。さらに、投手としてマウンド上で感情を爆発させる姿にも触れ、あの姿が大好きだと語りました。打者としてはチームの大勝に貢献し、投手としてもリーグ屈指の存在として評価を高め続ける大谷翔平。まさに二刀流として、再び大きな注目を集めています。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Yeah, I heard Gomes saying that they don't want to chase their tail, right? You want to make sure you're continue on the 6-man rotation, guys like Ohtani and Yamamoto and Roki, keeping that intact. Oh, we went like 19 minutes into the show without mentioning Shohei Ohtani, so I think that was a record.
That's a record.
But,
definitely a record.
That's the new record, Jerry. But might as well switch gears there. Once Shohei gets brought up, okay, the rest of the show could be about the guy. But 5 innings, goes scoreless. Strikeouts weren't what they have been. I mean, you did see him in some traffic. He loaded the bases late, and then he gets Tatis to ground out of that 6-4-3 to end that inning. There was emotion. He was pumped. But, Jerry, what did you see from Shohei this last start?
I saw the stuff was there. The command just wasn't there. He kind of labored a little bit, started in that 3rd inning, labored in that 5th inning. I know he threw 88 pitches, but I'm sure for Shohei's body, it may have felt like 110 pitches. I love, and I said it in past shows, I love Shohei Ohtani when he shows emotion, especially as a pitcher. We really get a chance to see him. His personality as a pitcher, because he has the ball in his hands. He's in total control and total command. In that 5th inning, just a brilliant pitch. Understanding Tatis wants to be aggressive early in the count. He does not want to get to 2 strikes. And he's hoping he gets a fastball. And if he does get that slider, it's probably a give me over slider for a strike, and I can hammer it at least for a sacrifice fly or get it up in the air. This pitch looked like a fastball and darted out of the zone. Just out about 6 inches off, and it allowed Tatis to go out and reach. Anytime a player goes out and reaches, he either hits it weakly or hits it on the ground. He rolls over to Mookie Betts, who did an incredible job planting his feet and firing a strike to Kim, getting out of inning 6-4-3 double play. That was a picture-perfect pitch from Shohei Ohtani at the right time to the right hitter at the time. And they had to turn it quickly because Tatis Jr. gets down the line. So for Shohei Ohtani not having his best command, for him to get out of that inning and for him to pitch 5 innings with no runs allowed is absolutely brilliant. That just goes to show the competitor he has. A lot like Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw didn't have his stuff all the time, but when he didn't, he made sure he gave his team a chance to win, and he battled and found a way to get out of innings. So that was one of the most impressive things for Shohei Ohtani, not having the best command, but not surrendering 1 run in those 5 innings. Oh, by the way, he led off the game with a home run too.
Yeah, broke his own record, right? Leading off a game with a home run, the very first pitch. Gotta love that. Give yourself some run support. The team that scores first wins like 70+% of the time, so you'll love that. There was a lot of discussion about this whole, should he sit, should he play at the same time? And there was Dave Roberts talking about the benefits of it, and then Shohei Ohtani, Fabian, I believe, said that he feels okay to do it. He still leads the team with 214 plate appearances. Is this, in your eyes, Fabian, like an overblown storyline as far as the Ohtani hitting and pitching and the rest, and just this whole conversation around it?
Whether it's overblown or not doesn't really matter. I think it's one of those things that it's going to be a storyline every week. And Dave Roberts kind of said, like, this is a decision that's week to week, whether he's going to be in the lineup when he pitches. This is going to be an ongoing thing basically until the stretch run of the season, because they want to manage him for that sprint of September, October, and understand that, like, that's not going to be as much of a discussion in September and October. He's going to be doing both. But in the meantime, like, how do you best preserve him? How do you best kind of manage him? Do you let him run when he's kind of really swinging the bat well, which he started to? And maybe when he's not swinging the bat as well, maybe that dictates if he's in the lineup or not that day. just to maybe give him a rest or maybe some more time, bandwidth, just kind of work on the swing. So it's going to continue to be a thing. It is, and it's one of those things that I think Dave Roberts kind of made his peace with that. Like, it's going to be a thing, and that Ohtani has said the right things. I'm sure he's not happy about, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I'm sure he would rather do both in terms of hitting and pitching the same day. But he's also saying all the right things. I don't think it's necessarily a thing that he's mad at the Dodgers or anything like that. But I think it's one of those things where when you get your chances to do both, I'm sure there's part of him that really wants to go out there and prove it. And he kind of definitely did that on Wednesday, where he didn't have his best stuff on the mound, still went put up 5 scoreless, still has an ERA of .73, led off the game with a homer. The swing is in a better place. The at-bats, even later on in the game, obviously didn't get another hit, but the at-bat quality was still good later on in the game. The at-bat quality has been really good for basically a week now. So I think it's going to continue to be a storyline, but it's also one of those things where the Dodgers are playing games in May with October in mind. That's always been the case, and there's an adjustment there. I don't think Ohtani's had to adjust that in his first 2 years with the Dodgers, because in 24 he was just hitting. In 25, he wasn't even. I think we're coming up on almost a year now of him making his first start, and even that was you're slowly building up. He wasn't doing full-fledged starts until September, when this wasn't even a debate.
Yeah, and Jerry, players want to play. How difficult or challenging this is for Dave Roberts and the organization to do the sensible thing, and by keeping their eyes on October and maybe having him not in the lineup on days he pitches occasionally, or kind of having one of those spa days the day off after. I mean, how challenging this is?
It is challenging because you got to make sure that you keep Shohei Ohtani fresh. Remember, it's not just this season. You got to remember, this is the 3rd straight season this Dodger team is going to try to win a championship. They're trying to three-peat. That's not only physically challenging, it's mentally taxing as well. And I think manager Dave Roberts told the media about a month ago, or maybe a couple weeks ago, where he thought Shohei Ohtani was hitting the wall. Usually, everyday players hit the wall sometime in July or August. And I think Shohei Ohtani, because obviously that long season we had last year, that 7-game World Series, he had a quick turnaround to get his arm ready and get his body ready for the WBC. So that was a quick turnaround, and I think he kind of hit that wall a little early. So it's up to the Dodgers to continue to communicate with Shohei Ohtani on understanding, hey, we're going to have to do this a couple more times at least, maybe 1 or 2 times in July, certainly in August they're going to have to do this. To make sure you stay fresh mentally, stay fresh physically, because come September, late September, and into October, he's going to be doing both. So I love the fact that they've already kind of set the precedent that they are able to do this, and Shohei has not fought them on that. So they've already done this a couple times. I think they're going to do it a couple more times down the stretch to make sure he's rested, or as rested he can be, by doing both.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the bat has picked up. There's no doubt about that, and we know what he looks like when he's right. He's back to being that unicorn. But you look at the Cy Young. I mean, you've talked about this all year. I mean, 49 innings, 50 games played, still one shy. Christopher Sanchez, Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski, they're continuing to have really, really good seasons. Fabian, do you think that, that's something they're kind of monitoring as the season progresses, just the Cy Young, where he's at? Maybe looking at that race, if the other guys pull away, do they kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit, or do you think that they're just going to kind of go full bore and give him the best opportunity to go chase that award?
I think they're going to give him the best chance to do this. I think Dave Roberts kind of gone out and said it, I think, a month ago. This guy's not going to miss a start on the mound. They're not. He's not going to miss a start, barring injury. They're not going to skip him for a start. Basically, if you're going to take something off his plate, it's going to be hitting. And I think some of it, especially right now, has to do with what you have. Obviously, Dalton Rushing has cooled off at the plate a little bit, but they have options that they could throw into the DH spot for a day. In terms of turns to the rotation, no. We got into that earlier with the acquisition of Eric Lauer. They don't have the pitching depth that they did on paper. So almost that they kind of need him as a starter at this point more than they need him in the lineup, which is saying something, because his bat was more important to the Dodgers his first 2 seasons as a Dodger. So. I don't think they're going to necessarily pull the pitching off his plate anytime soon. And even if some of those guys separate, I think there's still part of Ohtani that wants to show he can go a full wire-to-wire season as a starter and show just how dominant he can be when he's doing that part of his game.
And I think, Jerry, too, it's not like he's just pursuing this award. He really enjoys pitching. I mean, you see the emotion, you see the fiery competitor out there. I think that he's loving life back on the mound for a full season.
Yeah, he is. And he's been our best pitcher, guys. He has not only been our best pitcher, he's been the best pitcher in the National League. So you got to make sure that he is ready to roll when his turn in the rotation comes up. So I love the fact that he's chasing this. It gives him something to hunt. And we know when Shohei Ohtani is hunting something, it brings the very best out of him and it helps the Dodgers. So I'm all for it. You know, making sure that each and every time he gets an opportunity to start, he's out there doing his thing. He's entertaining. I love his start day. And he has been lights out. And like I said earlier, he may not have had his best stuff against San Diego, but he found a way to give us 5 strong innings of no runs allowed. And each and every time he's taken them out, guys, we should have won that game. I know he's lost one, but I think the one start he gave up 2 runs in 6 or 7 innings pitched. Should have won that game. The offense just wasn't there. So love the fact that he's going for this award.
John, I want to start with you this week on, I've pretty much watched every one of Shohei Ohtani's starts this year. He's been fantastic on the mound, but he hasn't always hit while he pitches. This past start, we did see him hit while he pitches. He led off with a home run. It definitely wasn't his best start. He definitely didn't look his sharpest. Is Dave Roberts and the Dodgers on to something this year where Shohei isn't hitting as much while he pitches? Do you think that's something that's playing into the year Shohei is having on the mound? Should we see that more?
Yeah, I've tried to explain it a long time ago to people, and they just don't understand what the heroics that he's been pulling off, right? I mean, it's impossible to do both at an elite level. It is truly impossible. But what he's doing is the next thing close to impossible. He's incredible. And it's going to have regression. We haven't seen the full complement of his season on the mound and hitting. Is he going to figure it out? Yes, but it is hard. People don't understand. You got to. I know pitchers take a lot of grief for, how hard is it to pitch once every 5 days? It's difficult because you have to concentrate just on the pitching aspect, the training component. Your eating habits are different. Your preparation is different. And imagine if you have to do that every single day, and 4 out of the 5 days it's for something different. You can't afford to go in a slump and affect both. It's one thing to not pitch well but hit well. It's one thing to not hit well but pitch great. And so he's just doing something that for the first time at an elite level with an expectation through the roof, we're getting a chance to see the normalcy. That he's normal now, right? This is kind of normal if anyone could ever understand what doing both is like.
Obviously, the numbers are fantastic. Can you win a Cy Young Award in a 6-man rotation? There's a lot that comes along with that. There's a lack of innings. There's not getting the totals that other pitchers will. So we're starting to have a Cy Young conversation. The ERA is 0.73, but he's in a 6-man rotation and not getting the innings that the main guys are getting. Can you win it in a 6-man?
You can win it in a 7 and an 8-man based on the watered-down ethics of pitching. Blake Snell won his Cy Young with the bare minimum amount of innings. It became the new normal. There's a lot of people that don't like it that way, don't feel like. Here's my problem with when people try to assume if X player kept going and if he threw 240 innings, here's what his season would look like. Yeah. You can't do that. It's very easy to have a great year in the minimum innings category. It's a lot harder to have a great year when you make every start and pitch 240, 230 innings. Yep. So I think the biggest thing for Shohei is he is going to show what he's capable of doing on the mound. He always has. And now that he's healthy and now that he's determined, he's going to win, in his mind, a Cy Young and prove to everybody why he's the greatest player in the history of baseball.